part of the problem is that Iran has been subsidizing with arms its proxies, its Palestinian proxies in the area, including Hamas, Hezbollah. They're not Palestinian, but they're still a partner. And J Street has been criticized in some quarters for its position on how to deal with this. Can you just reiterate what your position is and why you think it's the right way to go?
Right. I mean, our position is that Iran is a very serious threat, and it absolutely is taking advantage of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which has nothing to do with Iran, but they are playing around, in it to their own strategic advantage. They are funding the troublemakers. They are arming the terrorist groups. They're egging on those who are trying to inflame the conflict because it serves their interest, and that is a terrible thing for Israel, not to mention the pursuit of nuclear weapons, which is a threat not simply to Israel, but to the entirety of the region, as we just saw in the WikiLeaks memos, and is a strategic threat to the United States as well. So, Iran is a very serious threat, and the question is, what's the best way to deal with that? Our view has been, since we started J Street, even before President Obama was in office, was that the right way to do this is with a two-track approach, with some effort, an ongoing, constant effort to engage Iran in diplomacy that may or may not work, and it's not working at the moment, but that effort needs to be there, and there always needs to be a hand outstretched, and at the same time a series of measures that make it very clear what the costs are of not engaging.
So you're not opposed to sanctions?
No, we supported the sanctions bill. I think one of the charges against J Street, which is that we didn't support sanctions, is simply untrue. And Chairman Howard Berman, who wrote the sanctions legislation, would be the first to confirm and has thanked us publicly for our support. One of the things J Street did was we actually brought along progressive members of Congress, probably 40 to 50 votes for Iran sanctions that were in favor of the chairman's bill that wouldn't have been there if it hadn't been for J Street's lobbying. And I think that, again, shows the importance of J Street's role. But we agreed with the chairman, Berman, as well as with the president, that when the sanctions bill was introduced, was not the moment to move it to the floor. That it was introduced, talks were ongoing, and it was better to let the bill sit there as a threat, and then at the appropriate time to move it to the committee and then the floor. Mm-hmm. So that was where we sort of followed along with that strategy the whole time, which meant we didn't come right out and say, now's the moment to vote for sanctions, the moment it was introduced. So I think that's where some of the misinterpretation has been. But we've been supporters of the sanctions bill, very strong supporters of Berman's approach the whole time.